Okay, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good weekend and staying safe. And so a few more classes, and then you have a spring break next week. So no class meetings starting on the 15th. All right. So I reminded you with the email, and just one final note that the take-home midterm, the take-home exam is due today, Monday, March 8th. And so a lot of you have already emailed me that. But if you have not sent me your answer sheet for the midterm, make sure you do that sometime today. There's no time specification, so technically you have until I guess 11:59 tonight to turn it in. So make sure you get that in sometime today. And so midterm exam one due today, and also the other assignment we did last Monday. Example 4.4, that's also due today, so make sure you get those two things in. Most importantly, the midterm. And so, yeah, midterm exam due today and example 4.4 due today. And in class today, what I'd like to do is, because we skipped this assignment because it wasn't as relevant to the first midterm, I'd like to go back and do it today. And so we skipped the curve fitting assignment because President's Day put us back a day. But we'll go ahead and do that today because I want to get to that before we move on to example 4.5. And so I think this week, all right, we have a meeting on Monday, March 8th today, and then Wednesday, and then next week is your spring break. So we'll do, I think we'll do this one today, all right, and then we'll do this one, example 4.5, on Wednesday, and then we'll take a 2-week break. And so none of these, or the assignments we do today and tomorrow, or today and Wednesday this week, officially not due until Monday, March 22nd, because I don't want to have nothing's due during your spring break. And so we'll do the two exercises today and Wednesday, sorry. You can turn those in whenever you're done, but officially they're not due until Monday, March 22nd, okay? So the only thing you have to get done today is the midterm and example 4.4 from last Monday. Okay, so everybody's good getting in the midterm. I've got pretty much all of them, or I haven't checked, but I've got most of them. So if you have any questions on the midterm, make sure you let me know. And again, that's due via email today. So, all right, let's do this one because we skipped it, example curve fitting. So if you go to Blackboard, can you scroll down? It's right after example 2.5. All right, so think of this is just like a normal assignment. It counts as 1 point if you do it. And so under discussions, you see that there's a spot here that we didn't get to. And so once you're done with this assignment, it just goes here, just like a regular exercise. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the curve fitting document here, the Word document. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little example with some data. It's not real data, but you get the idea of doing an analysis. And so let me read the little description, and then I'll work through an example, and then you should be able to do your assignment based on the data. So this is a simple curve fitting assignment that's kind of similar to what we did in example 2.5 with the golf club demand exercise. Remember that? So let's suppose that Kalamazoo Brewing Company sells microbrews in a 7-state area, which are Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Ohio, and Wisconsin, so in the Midwest. The company's marketing department has collected data from its distributions in each state, and these data consist of the quantity and price per case of microbrews sold in each state, as well as the average income in thousands of dollars. All right, so those are the variables we're going to be looking at, and the average income of the consumers living in various regions of each state. So I have an Excel file posted called states, and what I've done is there's, I want to say, 7 states. Yeah, there were 7 states, so I used one as an example, and the other 6 I divided up evenly amongst the students based on your last name. And so you're each going to be assigned one state. So if you go back to Blackboard, there's 2 Excel files here, so you can open up this one's states. All right, so there's a tab for each of the states. So you'll have the quantity of microbrews, the price, and the income for each observation. So each state's going to have 50 observations, I think, for quantity, price, and income. And you're only going to do the state that you're assigned to. So this is Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Now I'm going to do Wisconsin as an example, so that one will be the one I do. And then if you go back to Blackboard and open up this file, states list. Okay, so this will show you the state you're going to do based on your last name. So I just randomly assigned them based on last name. And so there's groups of 3 and 2 just based on evenly grouping. And so go ahead and I think I'm pretty sure everyone's on here, so I double checked. So look for your last name, and like Joseph, you do Illinois. Uh, this is, this is okay. Caden, you do Illinois as well. And so you just go down and find your last name, and just sort it by last name, and this is the whatever color coding you get just based on your last name. Just do that state. All right. So I'm going to do the example of Wisconsin. Don't do Wisconsin. Only do your state. So if you're Ryan, you see you're doing Michigan. You go back to the file. All right. You go to Michigan and you only do this one. So you only do the one that you're assigned to. All right. Okay. So yeah, everybody knows what state to do. Okay. So is everybody clear on what I'm saying here? Just look for your last name. Just pick this, or just choose the state that you're assigned to, and just only do that one. So there's 7 tabs. You only need one based on your last name. Okay, and maybe if you want to double check your answers or compare notes, whatever you want to call it, virtual notes. If you want to work or check your work or work with some other students, you're welcome to work with people in your own section, or just double check your files, whatever. But you're only going to have answers similar to the people doing your same state. So, like if these people wanted to look at their Illinois together, they could do that, and so on. So if you want to compare notes or work together, whatever, you can, but it's individual assignment. All right. So let me show you what we're going to do based on the states of data. All right, so this will be a nice little data analysis using some data. And so step 1 is you're going to use the trend line tools. We did that in the golf club demand one. And we're going to estimate the following relationship, just linear relationship. We're going to look at quantity and price, which is the demand curve, right? We're going to see if there's a demand curve for price and quantity of the microbrews in whatever state you're looking at. We're going to look at how income affects the quantity demanded. Okay, if so, all right, the effect of income on demand. All right, so a couple little simple trend lines, and then we can talk about them. And so basically, what I want you to do is we're not going to do any like statistical analysis, not much of it. And so I want you to do a little trend line, get the equation, and see if there is a meaningful effect of price on demand or income on demand. And if there is, you can mention what it is. Okay, and I'll do a nice example that you can follow and do your state based on how I do mine. So then you'll summarize your findings. And if there's a clear linear relationship, you're just going to tell me what it is. And if there's a clear linear relationship for the other thing, quantity and income, you can tell that as well. So basically, you're going to make a little graph. You're going to get the trend line for each one. You'll put out the equation, and you'll interpret the equation. And if there's a clear relationship, you'll say what it is. Okay. And then you'll just make a little brief summary of your results with the scatter plot, the equations, and a couple statements just saying what you found. All right. So it shouldn't take too long, but it's a kind of a fun assignment. It's something a little bit different. All right, and I've already got my example up here, but I'll do it again just so we can do it together. And so this is the Excel file that I did. And so if I pull up this Wisconsin instructor example file here, so this is what you're gonna submit into the Blackboard form. So you just need to submit your Word document or PDF, whatever. You don't need to submit your Excel file. And so what's going to go here is just a summary of your results, kind of like this for your state. So all you're going to do is have a little demand curve with the graph and the equation, and just state what that means. And then you'll have a little graph of the effect of income on demand with the equation and a little statement saying what that means. That's it. So this is all you're doing, is trying to get a nice little summary of the demand curve, if there is one, and a nice little summary of the effect of income on demand, if there is one. And you can see that based on your state, you're going to get different results. And so here, I wasn't able to find you can see that like the points of price and quantity don't show a relationship, meaning that when the price goes up or down, it doesn't seem like there's a meaningful change in demand. But look at the income one. There's a clear, when income goes up, people in Wisconsin buy more beer. That's what this would say. It's hypothetical, but you can see, like, this is a good example of no clear relationship, and this is a good example of very positive upward, income goes up, demand goes up. Okay, so your final document's going to look just something like this. It's all, you can put it all on one page. And so for your state, just have a little section up here for the demand curve, a little section down here for the effect of income on demand, and that's it. And that's all you're going to turn in. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use my example. And if you want to follow along, I'd recommend just picking your example and just going with that state as I do mine. So okay, so go if you're here, go look at your last name and find your state. Okay, then go to the states file and go to the tab for your state you're assigned to. Now, I'm going to do Wisconsin. You do the state that you're assigned to. All right, and so just click on that tab, and you can do the analysis for that tab. All right. So, okay, everyone knows what to do. That you're on your. Everyone go to your appropriate state. All right, and then we'll do a little analysis. Yeah. All right, so the first thing we'll do is let's do the demand curve. Actually, the first thing we'll do is I want to put um, the data into little separate columns. So we'll have one little column for the demand curve and another little section for the income effect. All right, so if you're on your tab for whatever state you're doing, not Wisconsin, um, let's see, it's best to put the quantity on the right side of the column. So what I want to do is just make a little grouping of price and quantity and income and quantity so it's easier to make the two graphs separately. And so if you want to just, let's just move a couple things around. So I'm going to click on the C column. All right, see how I selected the whole C column and just hit the insert button under home tab. Okay, so there I just made a space there. And I'm going to copy and paste the quantity column and put it right here in the E column. So if you want to just click on the A column like that, all right, and so the shortcut to copy is just Control C. And you can click on the E column like that and paste it, Control V. Okay, so you got income and quantity right here, and then I just want to have price on the other side. So basically I want two columns, price and quantity, and then another two columns, income and quantity. All right, and then I know the graph is going to work out a lot easier if you do it like that. So I want to put this price over here. So to do that, let's just click on the A column. And under Home tab, hit the Insert button. All right, and then let's take this price column, click on C, and copy and paste that over here. Or actually, let's cut and paste that. Control X is to cut. Control V is to paste. All right, and then maybe I'll delete one of these columns so we just have one space. Click on the D column and under Home tab, delete. And so you just want to get to your data like this. So I want in the A column, the B, I want the A column, I want price. In the B column, I want quantity, and then a space. And then the D column, I want income, and the E column, I want quantity. So just here's price and quantity, and here's income and quantity. So I'm just moving things around so it's easier to make the graph. So everybody good on here? Did you see what I did? Just move things around. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's start with the price and quantity section to do the demand curve for your state. Okay, so step one is let's use Excel's trendline tools to estimate the following relationship. So we want quantity and price, the demand curve, and we'll do this one first. So let's just make a little graph of quantity and price, which is in other terms the demand curve. So let's do that one first. Okay, so you want to select all of this data from A1 to B51. Actually, first this is price in US dollars, so I think it helps to put it into currency first, so it comes out comes out that way on the graph. So if you just select the A column and under Home tab, Format, tab, format menu, format cells, and change the category to currency, and hit OK. That'll just put the $sign, like put these into US dollars for their price. Yeah.
Hey, Professor, do you know how to do that for a Mac?
Um,
Oh, wait.
so you have a home tab and do you have a format menu?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just should be the same thing, I think.
Well, it's there's no, what did you call it? You said format what?
All right, so home tab, then format, and then do you have a format cells?
So it says format as table, and then it says conditional formatting, and
All right, so those are here, and do you have this over here for under like it should be near your insert and delete button.
hold on, let me see. Let me make it bigger. Maybe that'll help. Ah, okay, yeah. Never mind, my bad.
Yeah, you probably just couldn't see it. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
just home tab, format, and format cells, and then change the category to currency, and that should do it. Hit OK.
thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, now let's make a little graph of the demand curve. So if you want to select this whole area, select A1 to B51. All right, the whole area here, A1 to B51, and then let's make a graph. Insert. Let's hit recommended charts if you see that, and the first one you want is scatter. So if you see scatter, hit OK, and it should get a little graph like this. So scatter plot where you have the quantity on the y-axis and the price on the x-axis. Okay, and so if you don't have the recommended charts, you can also do okay, so with the area selected, A1 to B51, just insert tab, and you should have either recommended charts or see this thing that says insert scatter. Click on that and choose the scatter one. So either way, it should be in this under the insert menu. Okay, so we've got a nice scatter plot of quantity and price. Okay, so we'll add a few labels. And again, if you click on the chart and you click on like the little paintbrush thing or the chart, there's all kinds of different styles and colors. So you're welcome to experiment with that. I'll just stick with the basic one for now, but you're welcome to choose whatever options you like. All right, and again, your graph is going to be different than mine because you're doing a different state. So your graph's only going to be similar to whoever's doing that same state as you. So if you click on this and click on the plus sign for chart elements, and then let's add axes titles. Click on that. And remember, to do this on a Mac, you wanted to click on the chart, and under chart design, you want to click on add chart element, and then axes titles. You got to click them both separately. So that's how you do it with the Mac. Okay, so this is quantity. Sorry, this is quantity. All right, and this is price. Okay, and let's call this linear demand curve. All right, and we're going to add a trend line just like we did with the golf club one. So click on the chart, click on chart elements, and right where it says trend line, click on that arrow, and then click on more options. Okay, and leave it as linear and scroll down and hit display equation on chart. Okay, and then you can close that. All right, and it should give you the little equation there somewhere. It's probably not in the best spot, but let's format the decimals a little bit. Just click on the chart, right click it, and then format trendline label, and change the category just to number. Close that, and you can move it around if you want. Let's see if I can. Okay, and so to do the trend line again on a Mac, you click on the chart and then chart design, add chart element, and then trend line, more options, and then do the same process. Okay, and so again, you're welcome to experiment with the different styles and colors, but what you need is, for now, you get your title here, linear demand curve. This is quantity, this is price, and you got your trend line, and you got your equation. So everyone good on this? Do I need to do this another time? Everyone's got the trend line and the equation?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So keep that, or make sure you save your file. And so you don't need all the other tabs. I mean, you can leave them there if you want, but or you can just delete them. But make sure you save your file because, why not? Okay, so you got your linear demand curve. Now let's do a graph and a trend line for the income and quantity. All right, so if you want to select income, first let me format the income column. So the income was, let's see, I forgot what income was. All right, so let's make sure our numbers match up what the little problem says. So quantity. All right, so that's quantity of microbrews, and that's price per case. Okay. So let me just make a little, like on the price axis, I'm just going to put in parentheses price per case, so we know what it is. Okay, so each case, that's the price per each case, and then so this is the quantity of each. All right. And for income, this is average income in thousands of dollars. Okay, so let's thousands of dollars. I think it's easier just to multiply the column by 1,000 so we know what it means. Or maybe we should do that later. Let's see. Yeah, we'll keep that note, but let's convert the income to dollars. And so just know that this income is in thousands. So this is like 25,000. This is 28,000, right? So this is the average income of the individuals in that area. And so know when you're interpreting it, it's going to be in thousands, right? So make sure that that's in your interpretation. But for now, click on the D column. And let's do the same thing. Home tab, format cells, change the category to currency, and hit OK. Okay, so income in dollars, and remember that's thousands of dollars, right? Okay, let's make a graph of income and quantity and see if there's an effect for your state of income and quantity. And now, hopefully, some of you got a nice or a better demand curve here, where it shows that when price goes down, demand goes up, and vice versa. And if you did, that's a better representation of the demand curve. So let's select D1 to E51, right? So all this income and quantity D1 to E51, okay? And then we'll make another graph. Insert, recommended charts, scatter, okay. Okay, so you should get a nice little scatter plot of income versus demand. So select that area. Okay, and if you don't have a recommended charts, just do insert and then choose the scatter one here from the scatter plot drop down right around the charts area. Okay, so we got this one. Let's label the axes and we'll change the title to show what this is. So if you click on the plus sign and click on axes titles, okay, that'll put up the titles. And again for Mac, click on the chart, chart design, add chart element, and then you have the axes titles. You can choose there. So once you get the titles, let's call this quantity again, right? Okay, and this is average income in thousands, right? So you can put that in there, average income in thousands of dollars. Okay, so it's a big title, but it's important to know what the metric is. So this is quantity and this is average income in thousands of dollars. Okay. Now we're going to do the same little thing or the same little step with the trend line for this. Or actually, let's change the title to um, linear effect of income on demand. With that. Okay, linear effect of income on demand. So we're going to see how much income affects demand, if any. All right, and then let's do the trend line part. So click on the chart and click on the plus sign. And then click on the trend line. And then the little arrow and more options. Okay, and leave it as linear and then scroll down and choose display equation on chart. Yeah. Okay, and then you got your equation. And remember to get the equation or to get the trend line with the equation on a Mac, click on the chart, click on chart design, uh, add chart element, and then you can do the trend line, and then more trend line options, and then just choose the linear with the equation. Okay, so we got this equation. Let's right click it, format trend line label, and change the category to number. All right, so there we go. So we did the same thing for both. We've got the title, we've got the axes, we've got the trend line, and we've got the equation. And again, for either of these or both, you can um, click on different charts, different colors. You can change the font, whatever you want to do, but you got to have the basics. So just at this point, everybody good? Everybody has the trend line for uh, the demand curve and then the trend line in the equation for income and demand? Yeah? Okay, let's see. So for income, did you get, oh, so let's see, is anyone else doing, Abdul is just double checking, so let's see. Who else is doing Indiana? So let's see. Tyler, did you get that?
The two plots or whatever.
Or no, so Abdul is asking if you got this equation, because you're both doing the same, you're doing Indiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you see the chat? Did you get that number for your estimates for
Oh,
those?
hold on, let me see.
Yeah. And Linda too. See, Linda, you can check if you want.
2.196. So for the first one, it's the same thing. I got the same thing, and then the second one, yeah, yeah, I got the same thing.
All right, so you both got the same thing, which means there's a pretty good chance you're both right. Yeah.
Or we're both wrong.
It's possible, but more likely that you're not.
Yeah, I'm just talking.
Okay. All right. So we're on the right track. We got that. Okay. So save your file. All right. And you've completed the Excel part of this, and now you got to put it into a different document and then summarize your findings and make a little, yeah. So now, I don't want you don't need to turn in the Excel part. You just need to turn in the pick the graphs with the equations and make some little statements on your findings. So let's go ahead and if you want to just open up a blank Word document, that's probably the best way. So if you just go to, you should all, hopefully you all have Microsoft Word with, if you got the free student version through the university. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, let me know. But if you do, hopefully you do, just open it up. Okay, blank document. All right, and now what we're gonna do first is just we're gonna copy and paste the two charts onto the Word document, and then we can make our document here. Okay, so the best way I think is just click on the chart, go back to your Excel file, and click on the demand curve, and you can just copy and paste it usually with the shortcuts. So Control C is copy. All right, and go to the Word document, and then just click anywhere there, and just Control V is paste. All right, and you can do the same for the other one. Click on it, Control C. Okay, then choose a little spot on your Word document, Control V to paste. Okay, so there you go. So you're going to write some things here and specify the equation, but yeah, so just copy and paste the demand curve here, and then copy and paste the uh, linear effect of income on demand, and then we can write about that. So let me save this. Okay, and so again, this Word document is all you need to turn in. So you don't need to turn in the Excel file, only turn in the Word file. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you post the Excel file, I'm not. You're not going to lose any points. Just you don't have to. I mean, so this is all you need to submit for this assignment. So you got the graph here with the trend line in the equation, and the graph here with the trend line in the equation. And now we're going to talk about what the results mean, hopefully. Okay, so we've got, let's see, we estimated a trend line and equation for the demand curve. We estimated a trend line and equation for the effect of income on demand. And now we're going to summarize the findings. And so is there a relationship between quantity and price? And what is it? And the same for the other one. Okay, and we're making a little summary where we got the scatter plots, the trend line, and then the equations. Okay. All right, so I'm going to make this equation a little bit bigger because it's all right. So if you want to do that, you just click on the equation and then just change the font size. All right, so let's rewrite the equation based on what it means for quantity and price, and then we'll do the same. And then we'll write the statement of what it means, and then we'll say if there's a clear relationship. So let me just make it space. Okay, so your equation shows the linear effect of price on demand. So Y is demand, or Y is, I guess, quantity demanded. Okay, and just I like to put the intercept first, which is whatever the second number is. For me, it's 408.25. For like Indiana, you'd put 161.29. Okay, and then most likely you have a minus sign because usually your demand curve is downward sloping. When price goes down, demand goes up. Okay, then minus, here I got 0.96. Okay, and then the x variable is price. Okay, so you're estimating the linear effect of price on demand. Right, so quantity demanded equals 408.25 minus 0.96 times price. So all you gotta do is take this equation you got and plug in demand, quantity demanded for Y, and price for X. So let's interpret that, and then you can see if you can decide if it's a good relationship or not. Okay, so what this means is this is when you change X by 1 unit, the coefficient, this thing, is what happens to Y, quantity demanded. So basically, okay, so when price increases by 1 unit, which is $1 per case, when the price of case goes up by $1, this would mean that Okay, that would mean that the y variable decreases by this, about one case, the 0.96. Okay, so you're just stating the average effect of a 1 unit change on the x variable on the y variable. So in mine, when the price increases by $1 per case, quantity demanded of cases of microbrews decreases by the coefficient 0.96 on average, 0.96 cases. Okay, and depending on what your graph looks like in your trend line, you can just make it, we're not going to do any statistical analysis or like error checking, but just kind of look at the graph and just see if it represents a clear demand curve. You can make that statement or not. So look at mine. It's just like it's a scatter plot of just random things, and it doesn't look like there's any clear relationship between price and case, at least with this data. So I'm just going to say that. Okay, so there's not a clear relationship between price and quantity demanded in this set of data from Wisconsin. So that last part is just, it's somewhat arbitrary. You're not going to lose any points if you say there is a relationship or there isn't, but just kind of, it's just a good way of looking at the data and seeing like, is there a relationship there? You couldn't really use this as a good interpretation because it's just a bunch of random numbers or random scatter plots. Sorry, but this one, no matter what you look at, there's a clear upward relationship. So just if you think there's a clear relationship, just make that statement. If not, you can make that statement as well. Okay, so you got, for the first part, you got your equation with quantity demanded and price using your coefficients. You state what that means, all right? Interpret the coefficient, and then just make a final statement saying if the data shows a good relationship or not. Okay, all right, we're good on that one.
Yep.
All right. Okay, let's see if we have a nice. Let's do the same thing for income on demand if there is any. Okay. So this shows the effect of income on demand. So the y variable is the same. All right. So for your second equation, for the income one, put in your intercept. For me, it's 49.28. Okay, and for Indiana, you're going to put in 34.528. Yeah. And then plus 10. So you can tell this data is fake because it comes out to exactly 10, but all right, so plus 10, and then x for this one is income. Okay, so just take the equation you got, and for y, plug in quantity demanded, and for x, plug in income. So quantity demanded for mine equals 49.28 plus 10 times income. So this is the linear effect of income on quantity demanded, if there is one. All right, then the next thing is interpret the equation, and then the last thing is, does it show a clear finding? All right, so then let's interpret this statement and make sure you use the right values, because this is average income in thousands of dollars. Okay, so now when income increases by 1 unit, all right, okay, and remember, let's when average income. Okay, so remember that this is 1 unit, so average income in thousands, so that means if 1 unit is an increase in $1,000. So average income increases by $1,000. Okay, then quantity demanded, depending on your coefficient, mine increases. Okay, by this amount, by 10. Okay, so that's what it means. When average income increases by 1 unit, $1,000, then quantity demanded increases by the coefficient, which is 10 cases of microbrews. So this would say that every time average income goes up by 1,000, 10 more cases are sold. Okay, and then finally, I'll confirm, or I'll make a statement saying that this is definitely a clear relationship, and there's definitely a clear upward positive relationship between income and quantity demanded for Wisconsin for microbrews. So all right, so something like that. So the closer the points are to the line, then the better the relationship. So there's a clear positive relationship between income and quantity demanded in Wisconsin, and this data shows that if consumers receive more income, they consume more microbrews. Right? That's what we see here. All right, so you should be able to fit your little assignment on one page. If it goes over, that's fine, but I think that's all we need here. So you got your graph, you did the data analysis, you got your graph with the trend line and the equation. Okay, then reinterpret the equation based on what the variables are. Interpret the coefficient and what that numerically means, and then give another statement saying if this, based on the data you see, if the relationship is clear or not, and do that for both. So and then if you want, you can compare your findings or your notes with other people that did the same state. Okay, so questions on this part? What to do for these? here?
No.
All right, so you're only gonna, oops, sorry. So this is all you need to turn in, this one-page document. So when you're done with that, that goes, that goes here. Okay, and so whenever you're done with that, you can, if you're done with it now or after class, you can turn it in. Technically, it's not due until after spring break, but whenever you're done with it, you can post it. So that goes there, and that is due Monday. Seems like so far away, but Monday, March 22nd. Okay, yes. Okay, so I think we're gonna finish a little bit early today, if that's okay with everyone. That that went a little quicker than I thought, but so if you're done with that, that's what I have. That's what I had planned for today. And so just make sure you get your make sure this is turned in by today. Example 4.4. Make sure your midterm is emailed to me by today. And then this one we just did, curve fitting isn't due until March 22nd after spring break. And then on Wednesday we'll do this final one, and that'll be due on the 22nd as well. So let me know if you have any questions on the midterm or the curve fitting. But if you don't, I think that's all I had planned for today. So I think we'll finish a little bit early. And yeah, I'll see you Wednesday. And thanks for joining. And everyone stay safe and have a good week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.